Well, welcome back to the Skil saw worm saw remodification. Okay, folks, I'm sorry. It's been a while. I've been underneath the weather, been sick. Unfortunately, I'm slowly coming back and the weather has a little bit more permitted. I'm out here in the Midwest. One day the weather could be 20 below. Next minute, the next couple of days, it's going to be over 40 and 50 degrees before it drops back down to zero. We're on the back side of my tailgate. Workshop still looks like a mess. Precious is here, and welcome back to my thing. This is part 2, and what I'm going to be doing today is taking the drill press, and already started to look like I'm already starting to clean this up a little bit. I want to really thank toolpartdirect.com. It's actually ordered some of the parts that was missing or rusted to beyond belief. Some of these bolts are so rusted, the metal has actually just given up. I have a few of them. Here's one Pacific. That's how bad it is, and that's the one I was telling you about that I was trying to get right off of this end right here. I finally got it off with a pair of vice grips, and you can tell it's eating up. Sorry, it's eating up bad. Okay, so I did find some places. I'm going to clean up the rusted ones, put a little bit of lubricant over it to make sure the bolts don't thing. We're going to tear it down a little further today. Other than that, and I do have a Mountain Dew container I cut open to drain the oil that hasn't been drained yet, and I haven't got to that point. But I'm glad that y'all like some of my videos. I'm hoping this one it's going to turn out really good. And if you don't have a clue, here's the difference between a worm drive 13 amp and a worm drive circular saw. Basically, the worm drives are trucks. They're like a 4-bearing crankshaft compared to a 2-bearing crankshaft, if anybody knows what that means. Basically is, this saw here's got high torque, low RPMs, where the circular saw has got a racing high RPMs and low torque. This is basically for hardwoods, plywoods, and ripping, where the circular saw are for crosscuts and actually softwoods. So, and I got this for free. I can't complain. If I can get it up and running, which you heard in my last video, that it's power. Now I'm just going to clean it up and straighten it up a little bit, fix some of the screws that's missing in it. Other than that, shouldn't be too bad. Precious, what you want, baby girl? Alright, stay tuned. Well, so far I've got this cleaned up. As you can tell, this used to be completely rusted. If you didn't already, I'm showing you what I've cleaned up on it. I've used the drill press, and I've got a little bitty drill with a smaller end. Clean this up. I've got the body over here draining oil, and there was very little in it. I'm going to start cleaning up some of the other components and start putting a little bit of back together. We're going to be blowing it out, sucking it out as well, so with the shot back. And it shouldn't be too bad, so stay tuned. Also make sure if you got safety goggles, because this is metal, touching metal, wear some gloves as well. Now, I don't plan to paint this, at least at the moment. Just want it cleaned up. So it looked nice. Now, painting it, I wouldn't even know what color to paint it. So this is a 1999 model, Type 17. There's no hook on it like we found. It's gray in body, and all the components must have been replaced. It looks like some of the blackens, and it's not chrome or chrome plated. This is a instead of aluminum, this is actually a stamped soft steel. So it's the reason why it rusted a little bit better than others. Usually aluminum doesn't rust. This just looks like aftermarket anyway. It's not doing too bad. I may repaint these black. That's about it. Probably with a black primer. I'm hoping within the next day or two we get our parts in from order offline, so I can really put this back together. The blade that we have here that came with this one, it's a 1/8 of an inch thick, about the size of a nickel, width of a nickel. So I don't have any circular saw blades that small or that big in my shop. There wasn't that much oil in the drill in the piece. It looked like the oil was ancient. If you can tell right in here, that's part of it. So we'll see. Gotta get off some of the rusting areas while that's draining, so I can get everything ready to put back. They really did leave this out in the weather. Really did. Maybe some of these people may have actually tried to repair it, because some of these aftermarket parts, you can tell they're a little different than the originals. Now, I'm not going to tear this thing where it's bare motored out, and I've done the inspection on it. I ordered new brushes, new shoulder bolts, some missing bolts for the handles. You already heard it crank up like I said earlier. It's ready to go to work. And the best I'm going to do is fix some of the bolts that are rusted. They're soft metal. Go ahead and replace them if I can. Put them back in. Change the oil out. Call it good. That's about as far as I'm going with that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I know a few people that will tear it all the way down. Make it look pretty. It's still just to be as good as it's brand new. And I admire them. I'm just not that talented. Whatever was on this was really bad. Folks, I appreciate y'all to stay tuned. Alright, this is how much I decided to finish up. I started reassembling, and granted, it's still rough. I'm not going to paint it. Really, I'm not. I know the motor works. Put everything back up, cleaned all the rust off of it as best I could. I wasn't tearing this thing completely down because I said before. But when you put it all back together, have one of these, just in case. This is where I got my tool parts from, and it goes little stuff like that. So that's a good thing to have, folks. You find it online. But I did remember where most of the parts were, and apparently I came with parts I didn't have to have in my bin. So I gotta wait on the mail to send me my other parts to completely assemble it up, and next day or so I should have those. Then I'll turn around, and I've got some wood out here in the yard. I'll give you a demonstration after I get it completely done. Appreciate it. Thank you.